Rocky Star Shi-Roku here, and welcome to my next video. This is a part of the saga that I mentioned a little while ago, where like the next few videos I plan to do. This is the next installment of that saga. So this is a video. This is going to be an updated video of one that I made a long time ago. I think back in 2019 or 2020, I think somewhere around there. Either way, I definitely think it was like when that video went out, I think it was before the pandemic actually hit. So it was way before COVID, or just a little bit before COVID, really. So that was back when everything was normal. And obviously things have changed a little bit with the channel and the thumbnails and stuff. So I wanted to make an updated version of that. So that's what I'm going to be delving into this time around. Let me quickly change presentations and then we'll just get going. So, okay. Right. So, like I said before, I made a video like this a long time ago explaining the reason for the thumbnails changing so drastically and the layouts and all that kind of stuff for the thumbnails. I did explain my reasoning for using them particular colors, as it's what those systems were associated with and all that kind of stuff. But I decided to make an updated version of that because one of those layouts I was using just didn't make any sense to me. So I reworked it a little bit, and in this video I just want to quickly explain the changes, how subtle, or just anything that went into making this new system. Now, some are different, some are the same. And I will quickly say that this is a video that I wanted to go out before the first few episodes of Sonic Adventure DE. I wanted this video to go out before episode 1 of Sonic Adventure DE, or before even the trailer went out. But unfortunately, they went out round about Christmas time, and obviously Christmas is a very busy time for anyone, not just a YouTuber. I mean, you know, there was Christmas parties, there was Christmas shopping, all that kind of stuff going on, and plus me being a YouTuber on top of that, I had a couple videos going out. I had the look back on the year video to focus on and work on and record and edit, and then there's all the Christmas stuff as well on top of that. So unfortunately, because of how much was going on, I wasn't able to record that video or get it out, whatever, so I had to delay it. So I'm recording it now just because, well, it's about time I got that video out so we can explain all that. But the point is, I wanted this video to be out before the first episode of Sonic Adventure DE. And obviously that's not happened, so oh well, can't be helped. So, like I said, this is an updated version of the thumbnails and explaining the reason. So, I don't know if that video is still up there, as I have deleted a few videos and I can't remember if that one's still up or not. But either way, this would be a good, whether that video is up there or not, whether you've seen that video or not, this will be a good general rundown for anyone who's not seen it as well. So, yeah, this is just basically an updated version of all the thumbnail layout and the reasoning behind them. So, going back over to the previous video a little bit, for anyone who's not seen it, basically all the thumbnail layouts for each particular system I've based on the Hyperdimension Neptunia platform system, since in that game series, all of the nations slash consoles were basically embodied by particular characters, which you can see on screen right now. And yeah, so basically what I had done is I had associated every single Let's Play system banner based on that particular character and color based, mainly because that system had been associated with that color in the past. I'll go over them very quickly. So obviously I went with black for PlayStation, Black Heart PlayStation, because obviously PlayStation at one point had been associated with black. Xbox, obviously Green Heart, Lean Box, Xbox. Xbox has been associated with green, and to this day, I think it still is. Um, so, you know, it just makes sense. So green, green heart, lean box, Xbox, because it's associated with green and has been for a long, long time, ever since the original Xbox, as far as I'm aware. Nintendo, obviously, white heart, the Wii, Nintendo, white, obviously, Nintendo's. I know Nintendo's more associated with red, which I've kind of messed with a little bit in the new format of this. But Nintendo had been associated with white thanks to the Wii for a good portion during the Wii era, since that was just what it was associated with at the time. And so it just, you know, I was just using basic logic and things that make sense for those particular systems. Sega, even though I got rid of my Dreamcast, and I doubt we'll ever see a Sega Let's Play on here other than games by Sega on other systems such as Sonic. But originally I did actually have purple for Sega, since, well, this one I don't know if Sega was actually ever associated with purple, but it's just what was in, obviously, Neptune, so I just went with that just for the sake of that work. Now, if Sega ever was associated with purple at all, I mean, but yeah, that's just what I went with. And this is the one that bothered me. This is the one that made no sense to me. In the Neptunia series, I blacked out the character for the sake of spoilers, since I don't want to spoil anything, as I've not played too much into the game myself, so I blacked out the character for the sake of spoilers. But apparently in Neptunia, the nation and character based on PC was apparently yellow, so I went with yellow there, even though it makes no sense to me, and that's the whole point of this video and why I changed so much. So like I said, some have changed, some drastically, some very subtle, and some have changed completely, which is what I'm going to go into now. So, and that's my generic one, just for the sake of stuff. Yeah, that's just my generic kind of colour. Just because, well, you know, it's just to fill up the spots, really. Okay, so PlayStation has had no changes. So this is exactly as it was before. I saw no reason to change it, because when I was changing these, I was thinking on a few things, like whether my blue emblem looked okay in it, and whether it made sense with that particular system. So I didn't need to change anything for PlayStation, because, you know, black is still very much associated with PlayStation. I think I know it's more of a dark blue these days, but I still think it's associated enough to the point where it still makes sense. So I didn't need to change anything for PlayStation. It's still exactly how it was, and I'm still very, very happy with it. Next, Xbox had a couple changes. Yeah. So this is the first version. So this was the original. Obviously, you can see that the main problem with this is mainly my emblem. My emblem blends in a bit too much, I think. So I changed it. I changed that a couple times just so that it looks better. So it's not blending in as much. So that's the original. This was the first version I went with. I changed the colour of the bit where my emblem is. I changed that to be a slightly darker shade of green, and it has worked, but I still think I could have went better. And this is the final version, as you can see, much darker. So like, there's the original version, blending in a lot with the emblem, not blending in as much. And now it's not blending in at all. Now that's the one I decided to go with in the end. I think it works. Okay, Nintendo. This one's had a couple versions. The first version is very subtle and barely noticeable unless you know where you're looking. So I'll point that out myself. Actually, I probably should have had my mouse cursor on for this one. Oh well, it doesn't matter, I suppose. I'll point it out either way, where you should be looking. Okay, so this is the original. This is the original one I went with. So again, you know, it still kind of makes sense because Nintendo was associated with white during the Wii era, so it still kind of makes sense, I think. This is the second version. Now, obviously, the problem with the white is obviously it was blending in a bit too much with my emblem. Like you can still see it, but it's still a bit too much of a contrast. I think like it looks like it's not blending in, but it's still I don't know. I wasn't happy with it looking. You know, I mean, you know, maybe if people were colorblind, it would look like it's blending in. Perhaps I don't know, but yeah, I wasn't happy with it. I wanted to do something a little more. So that was the first version. Now it's very difficult to notice, but if you look very closely at the line and the if you look very closely at the line and the bits where my emblem is, it's changed ever so slightly. It's still white, but it's got a slightly bluish tint to it. Um, but obviously I wasn't happy with that version either. So here's what I did. I decided to I decided to pay respects to obviously the Famicom design, and obviously Nintendo's red that they're also associated with, and I decided to blend the two together. So I kept the white because it's still associated with white, but I also changed the bit where the emblem is and the line to a nice Famicom red and Nintendo red because it is associated with red as well. Also paying respect to the Famicom because I do like the Famicom. If I'm being honest, I like the Famicom's design better than the actual NES that we got here over in the West, if I'm being honest. I kind of wish we had that design, just like with that color scheme. I like the red and gold color scheme, and I kind of wish that we kind of kept that. But I just think that made more sense. Like yes, I did like the white, but I also I didn't want to take the risk of the emblem blending in at all, and I know it didn't blend in too much, but that one I just feel like that was the best of both worlds because for one, the emblem is not blending in and it's paying respect to the Famicom and it still kind of makes sense, and that's just what I decided to go with in the end. Um, okay, next is the Sega one, and like I mentioned a little while ago, the Sega one has been completely scrapped. Not because I was unhappy with it, because it did look okay, even though it didn't look terrible like the. So I was okay with it. I was okay with the with that one, if I'm being completely honest, because um, it didn't look terrible. If I'm being honest, it didn't look terrible because it looked all right. It didn't look terrible. I mean, it didn't make sense, but it didn't look horrible. And if that was the reason why I scrapped it, I would have just went with yellow because oh sorry, I would have went with orange because there was an orange heart in the Neptunia series. And obviously Sega was associated with orange thanks to the Dreamcast. Apart from over here in the UK where it was blue because there was already an orange swirl, but again, going off topic there. So if it was the colour that was bothering me, like with the yellow one for PC, I could have just changed it to orange. But the thing is with that is, well, I then later on, well, that's been redacted too, so I could potentially use that again. But then again, it doesn't matter. The point is, I was using something else that was orange that would look too similar, and I did quite like orange as well. But oh, you know, never mind. That's not important. They've both been redacted since, and well, let's just move on. So the point is, the reason that it's not because of the color. I didn't scrap the Sega one because of the color because I could have just went with orange. The main reason I scrapped it is because I I just basically lost interest with the Dreamcast. Because I only really got the Dreamcast. Like, don't get it wrong, it's not a. I'm not saying it's a bad system at all. The Dreamcast is a fantastic system, but I mainly only got it for Sonic, for Sonic Adventure, and I've already got that on PC, and I mainly got it for Sonic, to be honest, and I've already got all the other Sonic. I've already got all the Sonic games on other systems that I'm actually invested in. So that's why I scrapped it. It's not because of the color. It's just because I had lack of interest, or or rather, the lack of a better words, little reason to keep the Dreamcast. So I have since given the Dreamcast to Aragorn. Um, I thought he was a better candidate to have it other than me, since he's a modder and he'll put it to good use in some way. I'm sure. Who knows what he'll do with it? But yeah, moving on. So basically, that was the only version that I used for the Sega one, but obviously I scrapped it. Um, this is what I could have went with if I decided to stick with the Dreamcast, since obviously it was associated with Orange thanks to the Dreamcast. You know, Sega was associated with Orange thanks to the Dreamcast. But again, I decided to scrap it just because I've got the Sonic games on systems I'm actually invested in, and yeah. Okay, PC reaction. Okay, PC videos. This is the one that changed completely. As you can see, it was originally yellow, and that's what bothered me. So that's the original one, and this bothered me. This bothered me a lot, and I did actually try and take some time. I did take some time to try and think, you know what, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it'll grow on me. But the more I looked at it, the more it didn't grow on me. The more I looked at it, the more it just irritated me. So I was thinking, what could I possibly do to change this and actually make it make sense? And then I was looking at Steam thinking, that's quite a nice shade of blue that Steam is using. And, you know, PC is associated with Steam. It's a nice shade and it makes sense. So, I'm not sure if it's exactly the Steam shade of blue, but it's very, very similar. So that's what I decided to go with in the end. I think it looks a lot better. It suits PC a lot more, since obviously Steam and there's a few other things on there that use that shade of blue. I don't know if it's the exact shade of blue for Steam, but either way, it works. I mean, so again, I was looking the whole time. I was looking at all of the colors and whether the emblem and all of these, the emblem didn't blend into the final version, which I'm really, really happy with. And it just, you know what, it complements it. If anything, I think my emblem complements that color, which is ideally what it was meant to do. I did originally change my emblem, depending on the series, but eventually I started to run out of color palettes and ideas, so I just decided to stick with the solid light blue color just because it works, and just try and change the banners to accommodate for that instead of the other way around. So that's the final version I went with. It made sense. It didn't look terrible. It made sense, and it was one I was happy with. Okay, and reactions. I might actually change this one now, since originally I did use this one. I did actually reuse this one for like anime reactions and stuff, because I prefer anime dubs over subs. And, you know, anime and Funimation is associated with Purple. Funimation do dubs, so I thought that would make sense. But since Funimation is getting phased out now and Crunchyroll's taken over, I might actually reuse the orange one and use that one for anime reactions, just because Crunchyroll is doing dubs now. So we'll have to see what happens there. I don't know. I've not decided as of yet. It's literally something I've just thought about right this second. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, just know that I'm not doing anime reactions just yet. I plan to do it in the future, but all I'm saying is this might be orange in the future, just because, well, we'll have to see what happens. I'll have to play it by ear, really. But yeah. That's all. I can't remember what I've done with this one. Maybe I've changed it. I can't quite remember, but this was the one I was using for like New Year videos, you know, for like starting the new year. Well, I think it's still the same if I'm remembering correctly, but yeah, I think it works. Again, I can't remember if I've changed it or not, but yeah, that's one I was going with at the time. I still need to check all this. To be fair, I only just found all this, and I was in a bit of a rush getting this back, and I didn't have time to check things through properly since I was running late as it was, so I didn't want to take any more time than what I needed to. So yeah, moving on. And then of course there's the generic one, my generic one for any non-Let's Play related video like this one. And that's going to about do it for this video. So yeah, I decided to try and make this video as quick as I could because I do have to go to Aragorn to have this edited soon, and I'm running late as it is. So hopefully that's I know I was like kind of rambling a bit, just mainly because I'm a little pressed for time. But hopefully you guys have a better idea as to why I felt the need to change the thumbnails so drastically. And yeah, I really just wanted that anytime I do a I basically wanted to have that color association with Let's Play. So anytime I do a Let's Play on a Xbox system, it'll be green. Anytime I do a Let's Play on a PlayStation system, the banner will be black. Anytime I do a Let's Play on a Nintendo system, it'll be white and red. And anytime I do a Let's Play on for any PC games, it'll be Steam Blue. So that's ultimately what I wanted to do, and I wanted to explain it just because of the change was so drastic, because I was meant to use the yellow one for PC at one point, and that's mainly why I wanted to get that video out and explain, just because it is a drastic change, and I just wanted to explain it. So hopefully you guys have a better understanding on that now. But again, that's gonna about do it for this video. Just, you know, I just feel like it's best to get this video out, since I did want to get it out before Sonic Adventure went up, you know, since that was meant to use the yellow layout originally. So I just thought it's best to get that out. So anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching, thank you for tuning in, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, have a good day, you guys. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. It always helps out tremendously. And remember, if you do want to help out even more, then make sure you hit the like button on your way out if you did enjoy and want to see more. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new. Ring the bell, turn on notifications, check the sub box, check the channel regularly. If you want to be a bigger part of the fandom and keep up with me and what I'm doing, join my official Discord server. Check out the links below. And with all that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Cue the outro.